Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wealthy. My name is Derek. I'm one of your hosts with my co-host here.
Hey, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hey, Derek. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
First, who are you?
I'm Derek.
I know, but like, what are you? What do you do?
So, well, first of all, my name is Derek for the third time. No, so I am a licensed financial guy. I work in the world of the stock market and investing and things like that. I've got several licenses and, that's where I'm coming from. So my contribution to Wealthy is that I want to help people learn more about how to manage their wealth, how to get wealthy, kind of those everyday things that we can all be doing to improve our financial situations and get those basic tools. What about yourself, though?
So I am a multi-certified fitness instructor, personal trainer, business owner, just lover of, most things, fitness and wellness.
Most things.
No, I really do love helping people achieve their goals. And I'm working on, achieving my own personal goals as well. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you are tuning in to Wealthy for the first time, guys, that's who we are. That's where we're coming from. Our mission in life with this podcast is, like we said, to reach out to as many people as we can and help them get the tools they need, just for those everyday things, like we said, to become, find more wellness in their life and more wealth in their life. Because I think, what spawned this creation for both of us was that we saw so many people struggling with these two major parts of everyday life. How do we be healthy? How do we get wealthy? And we, coming from our professional backgrounds, are like, guys, there's so many simple things you can do every day, even just mindset change wise, that will help you find that in your life. And we want to share that with people for free. And the podcast is the best way to do that. So if that's kind of you, if that's what you're looking for in life, this is where you found it. This is where we're going to do and how we can help you out.
Yeah. And Wealthy is a place where, we'll share daily advice, but it was kind of created off of that we noticed a lot of similarities in our industries as well. We'd come home and I would complain about something in my industry and Derek would, commiserate, but have it apply to his industry.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But then at the same time, we also have very different opinions on things as well.
We are very different.
While we might be the same and be on the same page for a lot of things, we will probably have just as many, if not more, that we are on completely ends of the planet, as far as opinions on them and the way we go about things. And so we just want to really keep it real for you here on Wealthy. We're never going to be paid to advertise anything on here. If we ever talk about something, it's just because we either love it or hate it. No one told us to.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. We're here for you guys and here to create a very authentic environment for your listening pleasure.
This is true. So today we want to talk about something that I think crosses everybody's mind, especially in the fitness. And I think every now and then when you start really taking your finances seriously is, do I really need a personal trainer or some kind of financial advisor? Do I need to pay somebody to show me how to do things or do things for me? And there are definitely some pros, definitely some cons. And we'll go over both. Hannah and I have dipped our toes in each kind of realm there. Obviously, we come from those sides of the planet. So let's start with the personal trainer side of things. I think that's kind of, probably more common for people. And I think it's kind of funny when we first came up with this topic, Hannah laughed because that's part of her business. And so we're going to be going over the cons of why you would not hire someone like Hannah. So it's kind of funny, but, so what are some of your thoughts on that though? Of, maybe describe to me a person that may want, it would be good for them. You would say, yeah, you are a person that could very much benefit from our personal trainer and why?
So someone who would be like, almost like an ideal client, someone that's just like, hey, you do need me. I'm not going to, I really don't tell people I'm a personal trainer until like I know they need it, because I never want someone to think I'm just pushing myself on them and being like, just pay me money. You know, we're trying to buy a house.
Solve all your problems.
I'll solve all. I'm a genie. Rub my belly. I don't know.
The guru.
Yes. So, I think someone who is questioning a lot is a really good place to start as far as a personal training client, and someone who might need a trainer. They're not necessarily someone that like just has questions. You know, if you just have questions, there's a Google for that. And there's a YouTube machine for that. And there's Instagram. And I think fitness is probably one of the biggest industries that's relevant on Instagram.
But Hannah, there's so much information out there. I've tried Googling and I feel like I get so many contradicting answers.
So that's who I would want to train.
Oh, okay.
You know, I would want to be able to be the voice of education and say, look, let me break it down for you. Yep. Oh, you heard about keto. This is why it's great and could work for you. Mm-hmm. This is, I mean, from knowing you and asking you some follow-up questions, maybe why X, Y, and Z diet or eating lifestyle might be better for you instead, you know, and that type of thing. And yes, that was a nutrition example, but I believe also personal training should encompass a lot more than just the physical aspect of wellness.
Oh, yeah.
So that being said, I think it's someone who's not just looking for their best body, gets a personal trainer. Like you can get your gym rat friend to go work out with you for free.
Right.
So like, I think it's someone who has questions that feels a little bit lost with all the information they've been given. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to implement things into a practice. And they also need someone to hold them accountable, whether it's just like this person is counting on me or I already gave them my hard-earned money. Yeah. So I have to show up. Like either way, I think the accountability aspect of having a personal trainer is really massive for people who haven't yet held themselves accountable for this type of change. You know, so like for me, I have never been like a fad dieter. I'm not a huge diet person. I've eaten like an athlete all my life. And then now I'm starting to eat more intuitively because I'm no longer an athlete. So, and I'm also not 15 and, you know, it does catch up with you. So hi. But like for me, I would love like a nutrition consultant because like while I have a nutrition minor, like, and
like for you personally.
Yes. Like because I, one, really just want to get nerdy with someone and I can appreciate that I'm not an expert at it. Yeah. Sure, I have a baseline knowledge, but at the same time, I appreciate that someone paid the extra money or did the extra time to learn more than what I have. Yeah. And I can be less of an ego person and recognize that.
Well, they can write like specifics, right? I remember you telling me about that as you were getting your degrees and stuff, how it was almost another program or license or something you had to do to be qualified as like a quote unquote like nutritionist and actually write like actual, like you will eat A, B, and C things specifically. Whereas you having your baseline knowledge, like could kind of give like direction, but not tell them eat this, don't eat that.
Yeah. Let me just debunk.
Go for it.
Can I debunk something really quick? Okay. So Mythbusters. Okay. So, everyone who has read, Eating Well magazine could call themselves a nutritionist. Okay. I could call myself a nutritionist. Oh. A nutritionist does not require a degree.
Oh. Or license or anything?
Nope. You can. Ooh. You can get a nutritionist license. Huh. You can. You don't have to. Yeah. It's not a license thing. Getting a diet, like being an educated dietetics person, like being in dietitian, is like a master's program.
Oh, okay.
Or like,
so nutritionist is just kind of a whatever. It's like,
I mean, but granted,
I know things and I can help you.
Yeah, but granted, there are people that are nutritionists that don't have any professional schooling. Mm-hmm. They don't have any
they don't have the masters.
They don't have the masters, but they've done the hard work and they have a knack for it. You know, it's almost like they're doing like a trade school, but they don't get a certificate after. They're doing the extra learning on their own. So, I mean, there are some nutritionists that actually are good, you know, and they're great. But then at the same time, there are people who just decide one weekend that they want to be a nutritionist because they hear on the radio, do you want to get paid to live healthy and look your best. Well, get your certification of fitness and nutrition through blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sign up online, that type of thing.
Or they just up and they don't do that program. And they're like, well, I eat healthy.
Yeah.
I'm a nutritionist now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about nutrition.
Totally.
It's like, what?
Yeah. So coming back around. So for me, I have questions. I'm overloaded with knowledge. But then at the same time, it's the accountability aspect. That's where I was getting at with the needing nutrition help, whether it's a nutritionist, a meal plan service, or a legit dietitian, a macro coach, whoever it is. I would love someone to be accountable to. This last fall, I did like a gut cleanse. Yeah. Which thank you for holding me as I cried through many nights or many mornings of just like, I don't want to eat this anymore. Granted, it was amazing, but this is coming from someone who's never restricted anything in my diet. So it was really a huge challenge for me, but it healed my gut. I felt amazing. I looked really good. So shout out to The Delicious Detox by Chanel Cosette. Yes.
I just wanted to jump in. So knowing listeners and knowing myself too, I think people might hear that and be like, oh, Hannah's cute and beautiful. I want to be cute and beautiful. Hannah did a gut cleanse and said she looked really good after. Why did you specifically do a gut cleanse though? Because you didn't just, I think that would be very good to know why you did it.
Well, I mean, we can do a whole episode.
Sure, but just throw it out quick just so people know.
So for me, I was never like diagnosed. And I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of to express the type of diet. Like, yes. Okay. I was never professionally diagnosed, but after living with certain symptoms for long enough, I kind of narrowed it down to what it was. I did go to a couple different doctors that ruled out some more extreme options. Yeah. But then at the same time, I avoided the doctors that maybe would have prescribed me other things for this, because once I knew what it might be, which is like leaky gut or something along those lines.
Yeah. Something wasn't right with how your stomach lining reacted with what you ate.
From my mouth all the way to the end. Like everything was wrong.
Because you tracked it for a while and never really pinned down like it's dairy. Like, because sometimes you would pound ice cream and be totally fine. And then go eat a tortilla chip and just be so much pain.
I don't think tortilla chips are dairy.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's the point is that we narrowed it down to, well, it's not just dairy or gluten or whatever. It was so random.
No, and like, I think every human bloats, especially women, like everyone bloats. But for me, like I would have bloating issues, like bloating, like a fit for days, like that. It hurt to get out of bed in the morning. Like I couldn't comfortably do like what I wanted to do throughout the day. Like it was constantly hurting and I was rigid. And it wasn't that I just needed to poop. Like it was like,
that you had extreme symptoms and all this. And, so, and you sought out professionals too, before you just decided gut cleanse. Like, so you had symptoms and sought professionals.
It wasn't a juice cleanse. It wasn't a detox. It was like, you're eating real foods. It's a restrictive diet for the first 4 weeks. And then you're able to reintroduce for the next up to 4 weeks.
Yeah. I remember looking at it with you, and it's from my outside perspective, it was a very, very detailed, specific method. It wasn't a snake oil, drink this juice, have this pill, have this special smoothie. It was, no, we have to hit the reset button on your stomach and on all this stuff. You are starting from base ground zero. This is all you can eat. And we are going to slowly, it was very, very methodical. Yeah. And there was no magic bullet to it. It was just let's have a method. I loved
that I was able to experience firsthand, because I haven't ever had this huge weight loss journey that it's like, I lost 80 pounds in 6 years. And I did the hard work. Like I haven't had to do that in my life. Yeah. And that's a burden that I'm grateful I haven't been able to bear. But I'm grateful I did this gut cleanse, because it's like, oh my gosh, there are people selling things that would have been a shorter amount of time, that I would have had the same quote unquote results promised. But like I did the hard work and I felt
Yeah.
so much better after. And then
Cool.
I went to New York and completely almost reversed it all.
Oh my gosh.
So
So anyway, so people know the
But-
why now though, and that's good.
So people know the why. Like I was very, very sick, you guys. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So for me though, I wish I would have had a little bit more accountability
Mhm.
with that, because just doing the guide on my own was a little bit hard just because I did have a lot of questions because it was food related.
Yeah.
And I felt like there weren't a lot of resources.
Mm.
So yeah, that's accountability is huge when you're looking to get something like
Mhm.
from somebody. And I think even for like financial advising too, I think accountability is huge. I mean, I remember
Well,
when
yeah.
we started, like remember before we got married, we did the Dave Ramsey program.
Which is awesome, by
It's
the way. Would
amazing.
recommend it.
Yes.
We don't follow it 100%, but 90% of it we do and love it. It's been
Yeah.
a great blessing as a couple.
Yeah, and it was really good to get on the same page
Yes.
before even getting married. Of just like maybe my parents did financing different, your parents did finances
Right.
different, but like we do financing the same now because we have that common ground,
Yes.
which I love. But we did it with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Love her so much, but yeah, we all decided that we would kind of help each other on like, okay, we're paying off debt, like we're not spending things that we
Mhm.
don't need to.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, even if it's just casual like that, as far as like financial advising, just having a friend holding you accountable or something.
Well, I think just having, so I think let's break it out here real quick. I think as we're talking and we're giving different examples of the type of help we're looking for, and I like where we're going with this, is that, you know, there's like you just talked about we did with like the courses and stuff. We had the friends. It was a great support group. And, you know, having that support group is awesome because you're not paying for anything. It makes it enjoyable because we're all in it together. Right. And I think we liked that, right? So support group, that might be all you really need. If you've got the knowledge, you know what you're doing, you've got plans and goals, you just kind of have a hard time maybe with some of the accountability, some motivation, things like that. Maybe, yeah, you just need to get some like-minded people around you, maybe make new friends, stuff like that. And that could be all you really need. And that way you don't have to go drop buku bucks on advisors and trainers and programs. So, or you may need just maybe you do need the trainer, right? Like you were talking about, where maybe you are at 0%. You don't know the knowledge. You don't even know where to start. You have all the questions. You've never done it before. So you have no experience. Like you're literally, you know, level one, nothing.
Or maybe nothing has worked for you before.
Or
too.
yeah.
You know,
and you
it's
still
like,
feel like you're at point one.
Yeah, but it's like, here I've tried X, Y, Z, and B, G, and Q.
Right.
But I still feel like I'm at square one because nothing works. So
Yeah.
that would be another instance, you know, where
Yeah.
I would totally suggest getting a trainer or someone who can help you
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
tailor fit it to you.
Right. And so let's say you do have that person, you have that client, and I know
That has tried everything.
yeah, either one. You've got the
Okay.
client that tries him, someone comes to you and they're a good fit. You're like, yes, you should have a personal trainer, whether it's starting from scratch or tried everything and you just need specific knowledge and application of that knowledge from a professional, right? I guess, how are you going to handle them in your mind from the trainer, right? As a good trainer with the person's best interest at heart, like all you want is for them to be successful.
Mhm.
The fact that you get paid for it is secondary to everything.
Yeah.
And I know that's how you operate and I love it. So and from your perspective, what is your game plan for them? How are you going to treat them? I guess, are you looking, you're going to come to me twice a week indefinitely? Are you trying, like, you know what I mean? Kind of what
No,
are you
honestly,
thinking? Like, what are you going to do?
I have a different mindset than a lot of people. Like people who hear what my plan is for personal training, they look at me kind of shocked and they're like, well, that's not a good business model because you're trying to make people self-sufficient and not need you so
Right.
that they can leave you and be on their own like as soon as possible. I mean, not like I'm never going to feed anyone to like throw anyone into shark infested waters or like
Right.
fire by baptism. It's like, okay, we had 4 sessions. Well, that's it. Good luck. Bye.
No. But everybody's different.
Everybody's different. And some people might just need that reset of just like kick in the pants. Like, okay, my body can do this. Someone
Mhm.
pushed me hard. Okay, now I feel good. And like, I know some basics. of what I can be doing at the gym. You know, they have example workouts. They've done a couple of machines or a couple exercises with me and feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah.
That's great. And that might be what they need. Some other people might need a little bit longer, you know, for many different reasons. Some people might need just the therapy behind having a personal trainer. Believe it or not, a lot of my clients need like the socializing part of having a personal trainer.
I get it. So they may not, like we talked about the support group. Maybe they can't find anyone. And so they get the knowledge and all the other greatness that comes with a trainer, but they get the support. They get the cheerleader. They get the friend that they get to say, oh my gosh, I feel so good.
And also
let's share the
person
success.
That can a little bit call them out on their shiz and say hey, look, that was a little disappointing. Like, or you know, you can do better.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
let's kick it up, you know, to the next gear. So, some people need a personal trainer a little bit longer. Maybe all their physicals are met, but they're still working on things mentally. And that's absolutely okay. People who have physical goals, like if they are working towards something, that's kind of like the end goal.
Yeah.
Whether it's a performance or like at a triathlon or a marathon or another type of performance-based goal, or like a physique-based goal of like, I'm competing in a bikini competition in August. It's January. I have 8 or 7.5 months to do this. I guess it's February now. Holy cow. But yeah, so I think those are people who would be great to get a personal trainer just to get the tailored and personalized experience that they need. For me, in my experience with personal training, while I might walk in with a plan of what to do with a guest, they might walk in like, and they know this, like it's totally okay for them to do this. They walk in and they say, do you know what? Can we just do a quick yoga session? Like do a yoga session as opposed to our weight training session or whatever was scheduled for today.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, yeah, of course, if that's what your body's telling you need today, I can honor it and put my plan aside for until I see you next, or give it, or I mean, you're paying me. And I believe that if it was written for you, you're meant to have it. So I might even just give it to you to do on your own.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So to finish up the fitness side of things, who doesn't though? We've kind of talked a lot about people who may need a trainer. Yeah, but who doesn't? Who would, if they came to you, describe the person, if they came to you, you'd say, hey, you know what? I appreciate it. And yeah, who would that person be? And from your perspective as a trainer, how would you handle them or help them?
I think people who are stubborn and not willing to try new things just should continue working things on their own if they know that that's the type of person they are.
Yeah.
You know, and the key point is that you're not willing to change anything. If you're stubborn but willing to try new things and maybe change some things,
right,
then great. You know, pay someone for their one-on-one time. But if you are just going to show up 1 hour a week and then not change anything in the rest of your life to help support what you're doing that 1 hour a week, for me, that would be a little bit disappointing, you know? And it's just like not a waste of time for me because, I mean, it's never a waste of time to work with someone on their goals. But at the same time, if you are not really working towards your goals on your own, it makes me kind of sad. It just like, how are you ever going to get there if you don't try and work on it on your own? But yeah, so I mean, those are the people who necessarily don't need it. Other people who have tried tons of things. It's just people who aren't really questioning. They know their intention. They have accountability down. And maybe it's like a budget thing at the beginning of things, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you have to try a couple things out first to see, one, if that works for you, and two, if the price point works for you. And I see a lot of beginners do this, that they do like a program that they can download, or they'll download an app, like the Kayla Itsines app, Sweat, I think. Yeah. But like she did the BBG programs that are worldwide famous. She's amazing. But a lot of people will do those. at any point in their career of trying to get started or finish, like everyone can do her programs, which is amazing. But people could do that and just kind of see how comfortable they are with the whole fitness thing, and then see what they're lacking from doing that program, and then decide whether or not they need a personal trainer, which I think that's a kind of a good way to do it, is try a couple other options and then see if you want to financially and like personally, mentally, and scheduling commit to someone else.
Okay.
You know, if you're going to prioritize not only your goals, but also prioritize getting the help from someone and being open to getting help from someone else, I think that's where people got to go.
I think too, there's another class of people or just situation where they've been doing good. They've been doing the thing. They they haven't had a trainer, or maybe they've been making progress without a trainer. And, you know, they eventually get to this point where they plateau, right? So they've been making progress. They've been doing the thing. They've been lifting the weights, whatever it is. And they've seen progress, and then they hit their first or second or whatever. They hit this plateau where they stop seeing the results at the pace they were getting before. And they almost, instead of continuing to do the good work that they've been doing, they think, oh, well, now I need a trainer because they'll take me to the next level, right? And I think that's a very innocent thought to have, is that I've been doing so good so far, but now I'm at the point that I need a trainer because I'm that advanced, right? And I think they kind of, and it's like, yeah, you're nodding your head because it's like, okay, that's a fair thought. But I think you need to think about the motivation behind that and what you actually do need. Considering what we just talked about with why you would get a trainer, you don't really fall into that category because you've made the commitment, you've been, you know, consistent, you've made progress, you've learned, you know, you've been doing it. Why all of a sudden do you need a trainer? And I think what happens is people hit the plateau, they get frustrated, and it almost becomes a reason of, well, because how do you break out of a plateau fitness wise? You have to change it up. You have to find a new way to challenge yourself. Your body has now accepted what you've been doing, right? I deal with this all the time because I have all these little plateaus and I get used to the workouts I'm doing. And so I stop seeing progress. I've had this exact thought that I'm talking about where I've plateaued, and I've been in a plateau long enough that I start thinking, well, maybe I get a trainer just for like a week or two, just to see what else he has for me to do. Then I'm like, wait, I'm literally paying him for just to tell me workouts then? Because I don't need the motivation. I don't need the support, and I don't need the accountability. I do all that myself.
And
fine.
You live with someone who could write you workouts for free if you need something different.
But that's the thing though, is that it's like, but then, so it's that question of, I'm really just looking for either one, like an excuse to blame for my lack of progress. Cause I could say, well, I was doing great and I got a personal trainer and I didn't say, and it's like, no, you were doing great. You realize that you were going to have to put in more work and effort than you had before to get to the next level. And you didn't want to. Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of a thing where it's like, or the flip side of the coin is, I want to get a trainer, but then subconsciously it's like, because I know that they're going to tell me that I'm doing everything right.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and I don't need to do anything else more. Like exactly. I'm already on the right path. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. It's like, great. Like if you need that reassurance, call your mom. Yeah.
To me, it's that saying. I was actually listening to a show today that they threw it out there. So that's kind of what sparked this in my mind, was the whole concept of what got you here won't get you there. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the situation that, in my mind, if you're one of these people where you've got to where you wanted to go, and now you're just like, wait, how do I get to the next place? I'm doing all the things. It's that, no, do more, do more, do harder, do better. Like, congratulations, round of golf clap for you. Great. Awesome. You accomplished your first set of goals. Time to set new goals, and more advanced goals require a greater level of commitment and work. And that's, I think, what people just need to realize, is that in that case, you don't really need a trainer. You've got everything you need inside you. You've been doing it. You just need to kick yourself in the pants, get up, get going, maybe fire up the old Google machine to find some new, you know what I mean? Use the knowledge
hit
you
up
already
some
have.
friends and see what they're getting excited about, how they're getting sweaty, and then see if you can join them. You know, if it's like hitting up a spin, like an indoor cycling gym once a week just to shake things up. Yeah. That's huge.
For sure. And I think this isn't the class that it falls into where, okay, maybe you don't need the support group so much. You don't need the trainer so much. Maybe you just need a mentor. You just need someone that's a little bit more experienced. They're further down the path, but they're where you want to be. And a lot of times, you know, you can find, like you said, a friend. Maybe you have a friend, family, or just someone out there. Even, you know, like we said, vet some people on Instagram, make sure they're legit, right? Are they offering good, realistic solutions and all that jazz? They can be a type of mentor where you can just be like, well, I want to be like them. Well, what are they doing? And not copy them exactly, but just take the advice and the style and that kind of general mentality that they have of next level. We're doing this, we're doing more, we're doing harder, we're doing better. And you can be like, yeah, yes, this is okay. This guy, this person that I see who's where I want to eventually be, I want to have that mentality that they have.
Yeah, but without falling into the dangerous trend of mindset snares that we talked about last episode, of if you have someone who you can't have a personal connection with and you see what they're doing right now, what they're doing now is not what they did to get there, you know?
Yeah,
so
right.
Just keep in mind. Yeah. So, but most likely not, you know, like all the guys that are doing like calisthenics and kettlebell stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, like maybe you didn't start out, you know, 600 pounds and, you know, are the shredded dude now. But like, I'm assuming you weren't doing this at the very beginning of your fitness journey to get you primed to where you are now.
Well, that's like we talked about, like you said, we've talked about self-assessment and realizations and
comparison.
And like you said, you want to do some vetting and make sure that they're giving you what you need for your situation. But
totally.
Yeah, that's all I was saying is that maybe you need not a trainer, but you just need more of a mentor, someone that can give you some advice and some real world talk and be like, hey, reality check for you. This is where you're at.
Yeah. So financing.
Well, finance is so similar. Some of the biggest things that we run into are things that you run into is that people will pay for an advisor and they don't want to take the damn advice. Like that is the most frustrating thing in the world is that people will come to you and say, I want to do X, Y, and Z. These are my goals. How do I make that happen? It's funny because they'll come to you in this supplication, you're the wizard, you have all this secret knowledge. You must know. And then you say, okay, yeah, it's actually pretty simple. A, B, and C will give you your X, Y, and Z. And then they go, well, no, I've got a buddy who told me. And you're just like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why did you come to me? So I think that's the biggest thing in either of these worlds is, like you said, open mind, open to change maybe too. Because a lot of times people come into the situations financially, especially because as protective, I guess, as people are of their like body image and their fitness and kind of, they can be very inflexible, even more so with money. People get so, well, I didn't get where I am by doing wrong things. And now you're telling me I'm wrong.
But at the same time though, too, I think a lot with the finance and the weird mindset that people have and fall into is, well, I've been doing it this way forever. Like my grandpa did it this way.
Right.
And it's like, tell me it's wrong. It's like, it's been working for us for 4 generations. Like, I dare you to tell me it's not working for us. And it's like, we're not saying it's not working for you. It's saying that it's not serving you to its full potential, like of what that type of thing. It's like
there's
the
good,
money under the mattress option, versus putting it in a high yield savings account.
Yeah. It's people, you got to be willing to take the advice. So anyways, when it comes to finance, I think that the self-assessment is so important because you need to take a hard look at where are you? What is your situation? What are you willing to do? And also, what are you actually going to do? Right. Is kind of another side of that because everyone has the same goal. I want to make $1 million. I want to make all the money. Right. So that's simple, finding out the goals, but it's all right. Well, what are you actually willing to do? And I don't know. It's just people don't always want to actually do it, and they may not be capable, and they want to try things that don't suit them.
And can I
jump in.
So that's actually one of the first things I ask people when I'm sitting down with a personal training consultation with them, or they DM me and say, will you help me? And it's like, okay, well, what have you been doing? What could you do? And what are you actually willing to do?
Right.
And most people, if you catch them in the right moment and in the big moment of weakness, where they feel so close to rock bottom, they're going to say they would do anything.
Yes, I knew it.
Yes, I will do
whatever
anything.
you say.
Whatever you say, I will, but they usually won't give examples. They'll just say, I'll do everything and anything. And then you're like, okay, great. So I'll see you at the gym at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Right.
Make sure you wake up at 2:30 to have a big breakfast before. So
yeah. Hope you're ready for your 4 a.m. run, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not so much.
I'll meet you at the stadium and we're going to just...
Yeah.
Yep. Bring your good shoes.
You only want fat loss? That's what you're obsessed with? Okay, we'll get ready for sprints.
Great. Yep.
Stair climbs. Here we go.
But yeah, so then it's really funny in person when I'm asking that question and someone's like, oh, anything. I'll look at them and do the eyebrows.
Really?
Really? And then... it's written on their consultation form, and I stop writing and I'm like, really? You're going to do anything? And I was like, okay, so you will do, and this terrible example. And they'll go, well, no,
yeah,
I won't do that. But, and then I'm like, okay, so then
you won't do anything then.
So you won't do anything then. So what else won't you do? What else are you not willing to do? And then they're like, well, I can actually only train 1 time a week and every other Tuesday if it falls on a full moon. And it's okay, great. Glad we got that covered. Right. And then, so I guess what are you going to do when we're not seeing each other, since we're seeing each other basically on the platform of 9 3/4? But So,
yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
So I'm with you on that for sure.
One of the biggest things, one of the most common words that we deal with in the finance industry is suitability. It's a huge thing you get tested on when you're getting all your licenses, is knowing who is suitable for what type of investing, right? So everybody's different, and you need to basically be able, it's weird, financial advising, stuff like that. It's pretty much they want you to predict the future, and you can't. So you kind of have to know and go over clients with, well, if the worst case scenario happened, how would you react? And just like you said, you have to be honest with me, because people will come in and say, they'll be like, man, I'm going to give you X thousands or millions of dollars. And, I just want to be super aggressive, highest return possible. Let's do it. And you tell them okay, so if 1 month we check in and you're up 20%, huge gain. This is awesome. Making all the money. You're ecstatic, right? And then the next month, the market takes a huge dip or a big turn or whatever. And now you're down 20%. You just lost $1 million. Okay. What would you do? And they just, well, what do you mean? Could that happen? Could I really lose $1 million? And you're like, yes, very easily. This could all disappear overnight. Obviously would never set you up for that to happen, but that's an extreme. But you have to ask people those kinds of questions of, if this happened, if the worst case scenario happened, what would you do? How would you react?
Is this
Are
something
you trust us? With? Are you suddenly going to pull your money out and take your loss and say, oh, financial advisors are a bunch of crackpots? You know what I mean? And it's, no, you told me you would do this. You told me that if you went down 20%, you would be fine. You'd leave it in, you'd write it out. So it's basically, you need to be honest with yourself and your financial situation. And, I would say this. Everybody at some point in their life, every single person out there needs to talk to a professional at least once. I would advise that. That would be my
consultation.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation, because everyone's situation is so different and the financial world is so complicated. You need at least a 1-hour conversation with somebody that has licenses and experience and knows what they're doing, that they can at least look at you and say, okay, generally, what are you doing? What are your goals? Okay, you have run-of-the-mill goals. This is my general advice. This is kind of what you should be looking at. These are some ballpark numbers. All right, cool. Now you at least have a very basic baseline of this is what a good plan looks like, right? And if you're a average person doing the average plan, it's going to be, put, at least 6% of your money into your 401k or retirement. Max out your IRA contributions every year. Put 10% of your money into the stock market. You know what I mean? It's going to be stuff like that. Save, it'll be shoot for savings of 40 to 30 to 40 to 50% of your income every month, right? Is kind of the general thing, and diversify that savings between actual savings accounts, retirement accounts, and more active investments, right? That's kind of the run of the mill stuff. But you need to have that baseline, because you get people that do this. They get the Instagram gurus who are 21-year-old guys that have read a stock book or two, and become a stock market wizard, things like that. And then all of a sudden their number one stock pick Instagram page in the world, get my signals, get my investment advice. And it's like, you don't know who these people are though. And you're going to make a recommendation, a blanket recommendation, without knowing anything.
That's the thing, is when when someone is educated, or I guess what their best interest is the question that they ask after you tell them what you want.
Do you want to know my answer to everybody when they ask me questions at work or when I'm out and about?
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah.
So every time. It's just a habit for me now, because I get asked so often, well, and I go, depends. And they go, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, it depends on everything. Like,
exactly.
It just depends. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, should I do this? I don't know. It depends.
So that's a great blanket comeback. That's probably the best that I can think of. That's so short and sweet that everyone could say. That's actually a good answer, that you could use for every situation. But it's the people that are like, oh, well, I immediately know exactly how to solve your problems after only hearing just the one thing that you said. No follow-up questions of, how hard do you want to hit this? Like, what are your goals? What are your timelines? When do you want to hit that $1 million? Like, do you want to meet it next month, next year, in 5 years, in 50? Like, what's your game plan, bruh?
Right.
Like,
it's like, well, for example, at work, I was talking with a coworker while I was checking out some stock trading stuff, options. So if you're familiar with the world, I was looking at some options, right? It's just a thing. They're like stocks. It's a whole other world.
Familiar with the world.
Yeah. If you're familiar with the trading stock market world, then options, you say, oh yeah. If you've never have no experience, you're going to say, I have no idea. I was looking at a thing, okay, at work. And this coworker came up and saw what I was doing. And, oh man, Derek, should I trade options? I should trade options. I should just do what you're doing. Should I do that? They were asking me, should I do that? Should I, I need to learn. Should I learn? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, well, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you do pretty well. You do good. I see you over here doing your thing. And I'm like, yeah, but that's me. And this isn't the only thing I do. I do lots of stuff. I have my fingers in a lot of different pots, and you see me doing one thing and you think that's all I ever do. It's kind of like you with the fitness stuff, right? Someone in shape posts a video of them doing a kettlebell hit workout. And now everybody thinks, oh, look like that, I got to do kettlebell hit workouts. And it's like,
or to do push-ups, to look like the Insta model on the Explorer feed. She's hot, like she looks great, but she's doing freaking push-ups with her butt in the air and her poor low back. Like, it's just like, that's not how you do it. That's not how you're going to look good. But no, she probably has really, really good genes, or she worked really hard.
Right. Doing something else, not the bad push-ups.
Not the bad push-ups. Or if she does, she's going to be 4 feet tall when she's old, that's not,
Right. You're only seeing a very small picture of how someone achieved their success. And it's the same thing in the financial world. If someone's, and this is kind of, you'll run into this a lot too, is when you do the horrible self-comparisons, right? And you look at the Johnsons down the street and you're out mowing your lawn and Mr. Johnson goes and gets his mail because he just pulled up in his new Mercedes or whatever. And he goes out to get his mail and you're mowing your lawn and you're just like, oh, man, like, what is he doing? So you have the conversation, you stop, hey man, what's up? And hey, dude, what are you doing? That's a beautiful new car. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you? And oh man, I just made a killing in the stock market, and it's like, You have no idea what else Mr. Johnson has done to generate
Don't go
his
inside,
wealth.
slam your door, and start Googling stock market.
But that's what people do. And Mr. Johnson, well, maybe innocent, not just because you bought a new car and maybe you did make a killing in the stock market, unawarely doesn't know that he's planting that seed of, it's like, well, true. He didn't lie. Maybe he had an investment that went his way, in a very great way. So he was able to cash in on that, buy a new car, whatever. And so he didn't lie. But that's the thing. Don't be the other guy that, like Hannah said, goes in and Google stock market, how to trade, how to invest, and oh my gosh, that is a rabbit hole that you will never escape from. And you'll probably just end up losing money.
Yeah.
If you're that guy, it's okay. Like, as a person in the industry, I would rather have someone come to me and say, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm willing to do. I just don't know what to do. Will you tell me? Can you just help me? Whatever you got to do. That's the thing. I think that people don't realize that they need to come to professionals with the mentality of, I don't know, but I'm willing.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me what to do. And and that's the thing we talk about. Oh, well, I'm willing to do anything. We'll be honest about it. And so come forward and say, hey, I work this schedule, like for a personal trainer, I work this schedule. I can commit honestly to maybe twice a week, 2 mornings a week. I have time that I can come and give you 45 minutes. You would love that. Because you can say, okay, I can work with that. What else can we do? What are you looking at? And you'll ask those follow-up questions. Depends. You'll ask those questions. A financial person with your best interests at heart will love that mentality because they'll say, yes, this person's going to find success.
And you're actually self-aware. Like that's the thing is like, if you have that answer ready, it also gives us as professionals a scale of like, how serious have you been in considering this before you came up to me? Like, right. You didn't wake up this morning and just go, I'm going to DM that chick, or like, I'm going to email her and say, I want to schedule a consult.
Yeah.
When I sit down at that consult with you and we get to talking, it's the answers that you give me that it's like, oh, okay, this has been a long time thing, right. Like this has been a struggle for you. And this is what you're self-aware about. And then this is what you have questions about. And I can see where you're not getting the answers or not hearing the right answers that are meant for you.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's really important to, as professionals too, just speaking to, if any of you who are listening are professionals, make sure that you set your your future self and your clients up for success by asking those abrupt questions, and not necessarily making people feel like you're calling them out every time, but that it's you are protecting yourself as a professional at the same time, and you are showing the best experience that you can without offering what will serve you. It's what will serve your purpose and your client.
Yeah. And
even if that's not even working together, like I have it as an option, like that you can DM, like take me to lunch and ask me all your questions. Mm-hmm. And if that turns into that you are going to become a client of mine at the end of that, that's great. But if a lot more times than not, we write up a game plan and it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Like you said, you just want what's best for them. And if they're not going to do what it takes to get the most out of having a professional help them, you're still going to give them all the best information and advice you can and say, okay, well, if you can do this game plan, even though it doesn't involve me, I think you'll still see some progress. Mm-hmm. And, it's interesting to, I think, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say that's a really great segue, or I guess, can I do a humble brag?
Go for it.
So I think it was 3 years ago on Instagram, I did a joined Get Peachy challenge is what we called it.
Oh, I remember.
And it was a 6-week challenge. I think it was 6 or maybe 8. It was 8 weeks of leg and booty workouts. Mm-hmm. And by the end, I can't even remember what the person got for winning this Get Peachy challenge, but I supplied them with 3 or 4 workouts a week for 6 to 8 weeks for free.
Yeah.
For free. Like it was great. People submitted photos like on a weekly basis or every other week or something. I can't remember the details. It was forever ago. But one of the girls, and I even had it as an option that I would go work out with them at like a local gym that I was a member of as well, and just work out with them to help them see their best results. I'm like, if you want to do it on your own, great. But if you want to make sure you're in the best form and yada, yada, yada,
right,
hit me up. Like, I'd be happy to assist you. And one of the girls that took me up on that, she has been like a longtime follower, really supportive of my brand and what's going on with me. She is amazing. She's a highline walker. So
tightrope or
like tightrope, but like the slack lines that go from canyon, like
oh my gosh,
butte to butte over a canyon.
Okay.
Like, she is a freaking badass.
Yeah.
So she actually sent me a text on Friday or Saturday and said, hey girl, like, I know it's been years and so long since I've seen you, but I just wanted to send you these progress pictures because I believe you started my journey. Like, thank you so much for teaching me, the proper things and
she
getting
never
into it.
Paid you to train her.
I swear she didn't. Like, I don't think I had people pay me for those workouts.
No, I remember that. Yeah. You were just helping. You were giving out free workouts, and in return, they were doing their submissions to maybe win like the prize basket or whatever.
Exactly. So, so she texted me like amazing progress pictures, amazing transformation. She wasn't someone who was like big before, like she wasn't
soft or something.
I mean, and I think it was a lot of just, she wanted to be more athletic for all the activities that she does. Like, she's a huge snowboarder. She does the freaking high line. Like, she has to be an athlete. So she just wasn't able to perform physically the way she wanted to. And she texted me with this sweet, sweet text that made my year. Just saying, hey, thank you so much. Like, you set up my foundation. Like, it's been a long process, but I'm here. I've changed my eating habits. I'm working out a ton and I feel so much stronger. And look how good I look too as a bonus, but it's very cool. Yeah.
That is very cool. So I think my last 2 cents in general, it's not a bad thing to seek out help and advice. I think that's kind of one point we both wanted to make, is that when it comes to going to a personal trainer, going to a financial advisor, planner, accountants, people like that, it's kind of silly to me that there can be a negative stigma to that. And it's kind of like when people give other people crap for going on diets or starting to work out or starting to save money, or I mean, in the construction industry, especially going to school. Oh, so you're going to become all smart now, huh? You know what I mean? It's like, why do we bag on people for wanting to improve themselves and get better? Or even, I think more common, no, I got to go home early tonight, guys. I can't hang till 11. I know it's 9:30. I'm going to go get an early night. I got an early morning. And then like we make fun of people and, so you think you're going to do this and it's like, seriously? Yeah, I am. And I'm the kind of person, I get all spiteful and just like, I'm going to do it even more now because you're like, but anyways, like, so just ignore those people. I think in my mind, they're just jealous or they are not doing it themselves. And that's how they react to seeing other people doing it when they know they should be. So just do you guys. And I think that, if you need help, you have questions, like seek out those professionals, whether it's a support group that just helps you get moving and doing your things and saving the money and hitting the gym and whatever, get like-minded people around you. That whole, you are the average of the people you hang out with thing. It's so true. And you're either going to be lifted up or dragged down by them. And as well, there's the whole, like finding a professional, to actually give you specific, we are going to do A, B, and C goals by following this method. And we should accomplish those goals by this timeline, right? And whether it's a personal trainer saying, okay, these goals that you're giving me, it should take us about 6 months. About 6 months, I want to have you goals accomplished, habits built, knowledge gained, out of here. I think that's kind of Hannah's mentality. And I'm here for support after that. If you want to keep training, we'll do it. If you want to drop me because you feel self-sufficient, we'll do it. And I'm always, always here to keep answering questions and support you. Or if, you just need a mentor, someone to help be a goal for you and a vision, like it's okay to go find someone and have those people in your life that help guide you because you're only going to be better for it. And, just be thirsty for that knowledge. So don't doubt yourself. Don't be ashamed to go seek that help. We're both here. So if you want to reach out to both of us, we have a lot of different ways. Hannah, how can people get in touch?
I guess at Health by Hannah on Instagram, just HealthbyHannah, Health by Hannah. And then that will get you hooked up everywhere else you can find me. So that's the best. But yeah, my last 2 cents quick, and then I'll ask you for your social security number. Just kidding.
No.
No, I think just do a really big self-assessment. If you have no idea where you're at, go back to that episode. If you still have questions after that, find a mentor and then ask those questions.
Find a dementor?
Dementor, yes. Once you find a dementor and ask those questions, then you can assess again and see where you're at and where you need to go.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really great resources. Getting a personal trainer and a financial advisor isn't the end all be all. It's not going to serve you if you don't allow it to. You know, if you don't take the financial advice from the person you hire or, workout advice from the person you hire, it's not worth hiring them in the first place. So if you already know you struggle with following direction from a person, then download an app. There are a lot of great budgeting apps. There are a lot of great workout apps.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
vet them and try a ton and see which one works for you.
We both use them.
Be conscientious on social media of who you choose to get mentored by. They have no idea they're mentoring you. So make sure you choose wisely. Derek, and where can everybody find you on social media?
If you want to reach out to me on everything, I'm just at Derek Spohn, DerekSpohn. I'm on Twitter. I'm more active under the podcast names, though, as far as Twitter goes. We both are pretty active. It's just at Wealthy Podcast. We also have an email that is wealthypodcast@gmail.com. But like Hannah said, any of these ways you can reach out to either of us, and we'd be more than happy to help you, but be ready for a lot of questions if you're actually going to ask for our help. And we're just here to help, guys. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, and thank you so much for tuning in. This was episode 8, and we hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about, if you need a personal trainer or getting a financial advisor or just getting that little extra help and that push where you need it. This is Hannah signing off.
This is Derek, guys. Go rate, review, subscribe. Until next time, this has been Wealthy.
And
Thanks.
live powerfully, well, and wealthy. Goodbye, you guys.
Bye.